wake up. Let me take you for a spin.
Hello, my name is Grant and I'm from County Funerals, and each week we post videos about the funeral service industry and funeral related products. This week we thought we'd put out a call on social media asking for your questions, because let's face it, the funeral industry has got a bit of a reputation for being very secretive and not letting you know what goes on behind those doors or gates or back in the mortuary. So we thought we'd give you an option to ask us questions and we will tell you straight and true what happens. So, question number 1. What happens to gold teeth during a cremation? Well, if your loved one, grandma, mum or anyone has got gold teeth and you want them teeth back, that is entirely doable. That is down to you. If they are family heirloom teeth and you are particularly attached to those teeth, but this is how the conversation would roll out if you was in here and most other funeral directors. But what about grandma's gold teeth? Well, I'm not a licensed dentist. I'm not very comfortable taking teeth out of a body. I don't have that type of training. But if you want to bring in your own dentist to take the teeth out, then we'll be more than happy to work with them, give them access to grandma, and you can have the teeth back. Now, that would normally be where the conversation would end. But just so you know, gold teeth aren't 100% 24 karat gold and worth loads of money. They're generally about 1/10 of an ounce of 16 karat gold, and the rest of the tooth is made up from amalgamation of other metals, platinum, sodium, and all sorts of stuff. And it would depend where you got the tooth in the first place, so whereabouts in the country, if it's from other countries, and when you got the tooth, because they used different stuff a long time ago. So if it was an older tooth, a newer tooth, it depended how much gold you would have in that tooth. The only way of knowing how much gold is in that tooth is to have the tooth out and then have it examined. Now, it wouldn't make too much financial sense, because gold teeth, depending on when and where and how big the tooth, etc., run anywhere from about £25 up to about £125. So you're thinking, great, 3 gold tooth, 120, £300. Well, you're going to need to get that dentist we talked about in to remove the tooth. Now, if you can find one that can come in, that will range anywhere from about £210 up to about £880, and that's if you can find someone to come in. So it doesn't really make financial sense. But what about just taking the gold tooth out of the ashes, I hear you ask? Well, a normal cremation will run at about 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and gold has a much lower melting temperature than that. So after the gold tooth has been through the cremation machine, it will melt down and go into the ashes, and you will not be able to distinguish between the tiny fragments of gold and the tiny fragments of bone, unfortunately. So there you have it. That's what happens to gold teeth. Question number 2. When I die, is burial and cremation my only option? Currently, yes, but long-term, no. Currently, in this country, in England, where I'm making this video right now, you can have a cremation, and there are loads of fantastic crematorium all up and down the country, or you can have a burial. And sub-burial, you have above-ground burial, green burial, woodland burial, burial mounds, vaults, crypts, etc., etc., etc. But they're all burials. There will be alkaline hydrolysis coming to the UK, which is a water cremation, and we can do a whole video on that if you feel that you want to, which is a more environmentally friendly way of disposing of a body. Uses high pressure water and some chemicals and some alkaline to break the body down. It'll also leave all inorganic material available. So them gold tooths we were talking about earlier, for instance, if you had an alkaline hydrolysis, the gold tooth would be left behind. But as we don't have one in the UK yet, I can't really go into that much. We can tell you all about how it works because they have them across in Europe and America, but we don't have one in the UK. So currently, in answer to your question, is there another option? Nope, you are stuck with burial or cremation at the moment. Question number 3. How soon after death can I have a funeral? Well, that depends on what type of funeral you'd like. Cremations take longer than burials because 2 independent doctors need to certify death, and you need to fill out an application for cremation and have that application and the doctor's paperwork in at the crematorium 72 hours before the cremation takes place. Crematoriums can also only service so many people a day, maybe 8 services or 10 services a day, more if they have multiple chapels. And if you'd like your funeral to take place at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, these times are more desirable. They get booked up in advance, so people are prepared to wait for them. If you'd like your funeral to take place at 9 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 or 5 o'clock at night, then you can generally have your funerals a lot sooner. You also need to think about your choice of coffin. Some coffins are kept in stock at funeral directors. Others need to be ordered in, so you need to allow time for the coffin to arrive from the coffin manufacturer, your loved one to be placed in the coffin for the funeral to commence. Likewise, if you'd like a certain celebrant, they get booked up as well. So your funeral arranger's job is to make sure all of these things happen in a time frame that you're happy with. Often, that's about 7 to 14 days, depending on whereabouts you are in the country. Now, burials can happen a lot quicker. You don't need the doctors to certify death, and you aren't waiting on the crematorium, you're only waiting on the cemetery. And obviously, cremations are a lot more popular than burials, so the cemeteries are generally freer, so you can have your service a lot sooner. Now, when you hear about certain religions having a funeral 12, 24 hours or 72 hours after death, often this isn't any special rites because of anyone's special religion, it's just people are more prepared in certain religions. So the burial plot will already be booked and paid for. The mosque, synagogue, church or funeral company that they're using is prepared, they know the deceased is going to be coming in, and they can have everything ready a lot sooner. So it's not a case of anyone's getting any special treatment because of any special religion. It's just a case of some religions are a lot more prepared for death to happen than others. Okay, I hope that that answers some of your questions. We've got many more to go through. If you have any more questions, please do get in touch and we'll do these Q&A videos a little bit more often. Thanks a lot. I hope you liked it. If you did, please touch the like button there, subscribe button, or even put the notifications on. Feedback is key. If you like anything about our videos, do let us know as well. You can get in contact with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even you could Google us up, find our phone number, and give us a bell on the telephone. Okay, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.
I got a big, long black wagon that everybody just dined right in.